Let's check in on Fox News' The Five. Jessica Tarlov now back. Great to have her back, the one liberal on that show, and often upsetting her co-hosts with facts. We'll get to a good example of that with her breaking down a policy case for Kamala Harris's campaign. More substance related thing there. But first I want to start with something totally unimportant and silly, which is Jessica Tarlov making fun of JD Vance. And there was this story that just broke the internet about, well, I'll explain it to you later, but about a couch and JD Vance. A rumor, okay? That doesn't seem to be accurate, but funny, nevertheless, how much this has become a meme. And Jessica Tarlov brings that up. But to me, it's more about JD Vance. The story is not about the couch. The story is about how weak of a candidate JD Vance has turned out to be, how weak of a pick he's turned out to be. But here it is.
Race now for them too.
Well, Kennedy, it seems like the Republicans are getting a big JD Vance, should I say couch-sized wake-up call.
You could, you pervert. You got smut on the brain.
Did he or didn't he? Greg says that X is so great now, and I think JD Vance wishes that there was some more policing of content.
Probably not.
I don't think he
that
likes
part of the discussion.
Oh, shall we
get on to?
Let's move to the next section. Is that a sectional joke? Okay, Kennedy, what do you think is going on right now in the race?
Mine.
What is going on in the race?
Okay, so again, before getting on to more important things, what the heck is this stuff about a couch and JD Vance? I keep hearing couch, JD Vance, couch, JD Vance. Well, Rolling Stone reports, vice presidential. These titles have been hilarious. So, what's with this rumor, the Rolling Stone reports, that JD Vance had sex with a couch? Vice presidential hopeful JD Vance would like to be having a brat summer, but he's instead facing allegations of pushing the cushions of an unfortunate sofa. This is a major publication writing this. Social media has been inundated with jokes and memes suggesting Vance once pleasured himself between two couch cushions. What goes on between a man and his couch is between him, God, and I haven't read this far in the article yet, and whatever sexy sectional he chooses to victimize. Okay, I'll stop there, but hilarious writing from the Rolling Stone here. Essentially, I don't know where this rumor got started, but there's a rumor about JD Vance at some point sharing a story about using couch cushions to get it on, and that is weird. But like Rolling Stone reported, that's between him and his couch partner. But in reality, it seems that this sort of was just a fake rumor. To be clear, we care about accuracy here, but it started this whole wave of memes that have gone absolutely crazy. Another bit of reporting here from the Abyss is on a different thing that is more accurate, or that's accurate. JD Vance's long correspondence with a transgender friend who attended his wedding has been revealed, including how he spoke about hating cops and disparaged Donald Trump and conservative icon Antonin Scalia. Let's see if we can jump down to this quote calling Trump a demagogue. We've heard stuff like that many times. And then in October 2014, after the police killing that summer of Michael Brown, an 18-year-old black man in Ferguson, Missouri, caused widespread protests and violence, Vance wrote to Nelson, quote, "I hate the police. Given the number of negative experiences I've had in the past years, I can't imagine what a black guy goes through." So the friendship with a transgender friend of his highlights once again how the constant dehumanization of trans people by someone like JD Vance is not just bad, but hypocritical, because probably he's just putting on a show and doing this for the sake of political goals, not actually because of genuine stances. And also anti-cop language that is sharp, as you heard there. That comes up next to rumors about couches. No. Something about Dolphin, and I don't even want to get into that bizarre rumor, but let's stay with the important things. Him calling Trump potentially America's Hitler, and disparaging in accurate ways Trump all different ways, as we've covered before. And then him also alienating people who, for whatever reason, haven't had kids in their life. He has all this vicious language about them. And it goes on and on and on. He's hurting Trump's campaign more than he's helping. He's super unpopular. Approval rating underwater, which is not normal with vice presidential running mates. And last thing before getting back to the 5, Adam Kinzinger was hilarious here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not taken out of context. You put the context there. There's something about, I guess, when JD Vance is putting on his eyeliner in the morning, he's thinking about how can I offend the most people I possibly can, probably never expected to be vice president. And it's insane what he's doing, what he's saying.
You just don't want to go around trying to offend as many people as possible when you're trying to help the campaign of someone, but that's what he keeps doing. And this is so funny. When I look up JD Vance, couch comes up quickly. I'm looking up JD Vance eyeliner to show you all what was being referenced there, because something is very strange about his decisions to put on eyeliner. I'm stalling. I know. Here it is. Okay, you can split screen now, Jaden. Look at that. Beautiful stuff there, which I support you expressing yourself in whatever way you want, but every time he's on television, he has very noticeable eyeliner. Quick pause from your viewing of this video to request that you subscribe if you're not already to this channel. We've heard some people saying that they'll subscribe and then check back later and they're unsubscribed. That's not good. So if you could make sure that you are subscribed, even if you think that you are, I would greatly appreciate it. Back to the video. With that being said, here is a more important discussion from Jessica Tarlov.
The election, I'm fine with this. She represents a lot of where the party is, and not the Kamala Harris of 2020, but the Kamala Harris of today. And that is the maneuver that she's going to have to make. And I think that she has a lot to say. I mean, if you watch the whole video, for instance, when she was talking about defunding the police, the point she was making is really salient. She was talking about what a safe neighborhood looks like, and it's not crawling with cops, right? It has great schools. It has thriving small businesses. It has really high home ownership, which has been a priority of the Biden-Harris administration to make sure that people can get on the property ladder. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, as it were, of what the Biden-Harris administration did it. The most delicious flavor of it at all. You know, they have invested more in law enforcement than any other administration in history. Donald Trump actually proposed a 58% cut to the community policing program. They put 3,700 police officers on the street through that program. Another 100,000 that came in through the Safer America plan. The American Rescue Plan had $15 billion in it for crime and policing to make sure that we have safer communities. It's a strong record to run on. The border right now, we were talking about this. Jennifer Griffin was tweeting about the 2 Sinaloa cartel bosses that were apprehended. She said that it was like catching bin Laden when it comes to the war against fentanyl. That happened under the Biden-Harris administration. Encounters at the border are down 55% since the executive order.
These are all things out of hitting numbers that had wildly spiked after the Trump administration, not back down to those numbers.
I understand that, and you obviously have to acknowledge that there were huge spikes. But it doesn't mean that she's the same person that you saw in 2020. She oversaw the implementation of the policies that have led to all of these good results.
Okay, so she owns this.
Great point there, because it is true. Wherever you land on the political spectrum, it's true that Kamala Harris's time in the Senate, which makes some sense because she was a senator from California, but did represent a much more liberal record than what she's representing in her current campaign and what she represented as vice president. And that happens. Totally happens. You have a different constituency when you're representing one really blue state versus the whole country. Fair. But Kamala Harris is running on her record as vice president, in many ways, the record of the Biden-Harris administration, right? And why not? That's the record both that is most recent and most impactful. Because the successes are major, as we've talked about for so long. One really interesting point is, while we're going to hear Fox News, right-wing media, try to again bring back this, the left wants to defund the police idea, you have a former prosecutor, a law enforcer in Kamala Harris, and a vice president, a part of administration that oversaw the largest federal investment in public safety, in law enforcement, crime reduction. Again, as we've looked at the numbers on before. So the record against Trump's actually wanting to defund the police federally is one that should be discussed. And Kamala just has to do a good job of, because this does matter. I know some people say, no, talk about how left on the spectrum she was. That's good. Just now, let's just understand the best message to reach the most amount of people, especially in a moment where a lot of people in the middle are sort of hesitant to vote for Trump. Let's bring them to our movement. Former Nikki Haley supporters, bring them to our movement. Understanding that the record and the vision of this administration and what Kamala Harris would represent in a first term for herself is one of common sense governance. That's what we've seen. Infrastructure investments. Kamala Harris wants to invest in childcare, paid family leave, uplifting people out of poverty, children specifically, through things like the child tax credit. And that's the type of common sense governance we've seen in the last few years. And so making sure that's the focus and not getting distracted by other discussions that are less relevant, I think is a really important approach to this election. Let me know what you thought of all that in the comments. If you want to get extra content daily and support the work we do, you can do so by clicking the join button below.